Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Episode 10. I didn't make it Save for Saturday because when I tell you, I just couldn't, y'all. And so I want to be a little bit more intentional, and I'm a woman of my word, so I don't like not showing up where I said I would. So I'm definitely going to at least commit to 4 episodes for the month. It's going to be Wednesday and Saturday are the dates that I'm committing to. Now, I may record on those days and not upload the next day. You can call me out if you're looking for it. But I'm going to at least do 4 a month. Committing to twice a week is a little much right now. It may change. But because I am sharing my authentic self, depending on the weather that is currently going on in my life determines my capacity to record in the way that I would like to, and I want to be intentional and not just throwing anything. So saved it for Saturday, ran into Sunday, ran into Monday. So you'll get my thoughts from now. I have so much to share, so I need to kind of filter down on what exactly is it. I want to talk about expectations, right? So I'll let it, whatever pops in my head is what I'm going to speak to. So I'm probably going to post a video of me working out. And this was me pouring into myself. I am a CPT amongst other things, but I became one just because I know what it felt like for me on my journey of losing weight, and me being able to relate or not to relate to the personal trainers that I ran into over the years. I've spent plenty money on trying to lose weight and get fit. Anyways, in this season of my life, I was able to consistently do a thing for myself. So anyways, this is not about that. I want to speak about expectations because it shows up in everyone's life. And for me, especially, I used to say, and maybe I didn't, right? You can't project what you expect out of others if you never set the stage, right? So if you never say to me, I expect XYZ from you, right? And you don't get that from me, is that my problem or yours? I mean, it's really yours, but it becomes a joint problem if your expectations aren't met and then you hold a grudge or you feel some kind of way or you move differently with me because I did not meet this expectation that does not exist in my world. Okay. That goes for jobs, relationships with your significant other, family, anything, right? Even if with a purchase, right? You ask the salesman that you want a remote to turn on the fan, and you don't give them the specifics that you want it to light up, you want it to play a song at XYZ time, you want it to be a timer on it. You don't say all of that, but it's something that you expect. And so when the salesperson sells you what they think is best based off the minimal expectations you shared with them, you get upset or disappointed when you don't get the thing that you wanted or needed because you did not communicate your needs, your expectations, or your wants, right? Expectations don't have to be needs. They could be wants, but they're yours. So you're entitled to them. To have them doesn't mean that they have to be met. So I say in my experience across the board, when I just take a second to think about it, people set realistic and unrealistic expectations of me. Some I know of and some I don't. And I can be 1,000% transparent. Some of the expectations that are set of me that were not shared with me, I could give a rat's butt about it because I took communications in college. Everybody ain't go to college, and that's fine. They taught us in school when you're a kid, Your parents usually teach you to communicate your wants. Rather you're signaling it or you're speaking it, they teach you what help looks like, right? And so in the midst of that, you are taught from an early age, at least one, right? It might even be from that, to communicate your wants and your needs. That is associated with expectations. So for me at 45, I'm not the best communicator, but I think I do very, very well. And anyone that is in any type of friendship, situationship, family ship, work ship, whatever ships we dabble in, right? Homegirl ships, homeboy ships, whatever ram someone is in my life, if they pay attention, I am very transparent and communicative of what I like, what I don't like, my expectations of what we share, rather it's formal or informal, right? At a job, I go into what I expect, what are my needs, how much money I need, when I expect to work, virtual, not virtual, like all of those are set. And that goes to even when I was dating, right? Even before I got married, I had marriage counseling, and the pastor asked, what do you expect from your husband? And I had a list of things, right? Because I do. I have a thing of what it is I want from a person. I tell my children what I expect of them. I have adult children and I have young children. I have a teenager and I have a 7-year-old. I tell them what I expect, what it is that I want from them. And so when they don't do a thing that I know they have the capacity to do, rather they failed to do it because they didn't care or they didn't try or didn't think about it, I then have the ability to be disappointed, but I also share that with them. So if I have an expectation that I have not communicated, me disappointing is disappointed in when I don't receive the thing that I'm looking for is on me, because I didn't share. And people aren't psychics, and maybe they are, but we don't know who it is. And at least the people that I am associated with, I don't know them to be psychics. So when a need is not met or a want is not met, how could you hold that against a person? You shouldn't. I can't say you can't, because people could do what they want to do. You should not hold people to a standard that you cannot meet yourself to. By the way, we'll talk about that another day. But you should not hold people to a standard that you can't meet, because people don't want to be judged. That's just a universal thing. I don't know everybody, but a lot of people I know don't want to be judged. And I can't meet you in the road if I don't know what street you on. You just want me. It's a lot of roads in this world, right? I live in one state. You may live in another and expect me to be on Belvedere, but I'm on Martin Luther King. Them two different roads. If you never communicate to me that, Tam, I want to see you on this road at this time and this date, how can I be there? And then you're going there waiting, expecting to see me, and you don't. You're upset, but you may not even tell me you're upset because I didn't meet an expectations you set for me that you never share with me. How diabolical is that? Is that not wild? I think that is insane, right? But that's what I think. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, I can talk about this for a minute, just because I have experienced this in relationships. I've experienced this with my mother, my siblings, my cousins, my friends, ex-friends, I've experienced it in so many different realms of my life, and I'm always saying to whoever, hey, you got to communicate with me what you want or what you need from me, because I am living for me, and I'm also responsible for humans. And so in the midst of that, I don't have time, or maybe I do and I don't want to. Let's speak to that. Maybe I do and I don't want to use the little extra I may have to then play charades on what it is that someone wants from me when they could just say it. What it is they expect. They should just say it. I lost a friendship. Let's dabble in this a little bit. I lost a friendship because a friend said I wasn't supportive. I put this on whatever. I have no idea to this day what I wasn't supportive about. I think I'm one of the most supportive people I know. But they caught me in a time in my life where I couldn't bother to care. Because if you're not adult enough, and we was adults, to say, hey, Tam, I feel wronged by you because I expected you as a friend to do X, Y, and Z, and you did not. right? I definitely think that's a little selfish because you don't know what could possibly be going on in my life. And I know for a fact that the specific time I was going through a thing, and I share that I'm going through a thing. And I normally hibernate when things are getting too heavy in my life because I don't like to offload my stress on anybody. I'm an empath, so I don't want nobody absorbing my energy or taking on what my load is. I leave that with God. So I don't always share. And sometimes I like to isolate because I don't want to be extra sensitive to anything, and I lash out on somebody that really it ain't for them. It's just because I'm on edge, right? And so I lost a friendship, several actually. It was connected to others because a friend at the time felt like I wasn't supportive in a capacity that I had no idea that I was supposed to show up for her. I had no idea. I don't know where I was not supportive, where the expectation was, and how I neglected to fill that obligation that I did not sign up for. Okay? That is the thing. How can I be obligated to do a thing that I never co-signed and never knew was an expectation? So I'm going to say this for the masses in the back and the front. If you want a thing from somebody, or you expect a thing, or you need a thing from anybody that is in your life, whatever their season is in your life, whatever levels to association they play roles in your life every day, not here and there. If you have a friend, you expect them to call you every week, you need to let them know. If you expect to have a girl's day or a guy's day out quarterly, let them know. But if you don't, and you expect it, and they don't meet the thing that you felt like you needed or you wanted, you got to own that. You should not hold that against someone when they have no clue. And maybe they do, right? I feel like action speaks louder than words, but also people should be of their word. So if you tell me we cool, I go off that. If you tell me you don't need a thing, I go off that. No matter what I think, because that's just me thinking. I'm not a psychic. I could be wrong. So I can't act off of what I may want, because we may not have the same wants, right? I can try to show up for you how I would show up for you. I can't show up for you how I would want you to show up for me, because it may be over the top for you, right? Some people say I'm extra. They say do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And you should, to a certain capacity, because I may give you too much or too less. I may not require what you require. So if we just open our mouth, part our lips, they say closed mouths don't get fed. Hello? Closed mouths. That's what the people say. It's I want to say it's in the Bible, but don't quote me, because I'm a Christian, but I have not read the whole Bible. I've been to church. Don't go to church often now. I need to find one. But I just know it's the same. Closed mouths, so it's probably not in the Bible, don't get fed, right? Also, you ask not. You have not because you ask not. I know that's enough. Okay? So just be mindful. Be mindful how you move, and is it worth you losing a piece of someone of value because you set these expectations? They may not even be high, y'all. It could just be the little things. You may want me to put a note in your lunchbox. You may want me to shoot a text every Saturday just to say hi. It could be something little. But what my point is, if it is never communicated that this is what you need, want, or expect out of someone, and they do not meet the thing that you feel like you want or need or expect it from them, you own that. Be accountable for your lack of communicating something that you were expecting, the lack of putting this burden on someone else that they didn't read your mind, right? The ownership of not being an adult and being authentic or transparent. Like, that is a thing. Like, we are so grown, y'all, for the grown people, okay? That what is it to part your lips? Oh, I don't want to say it because I feel like you should know, but why? I ain't God. I am not. And oh, how I fall short of his glory. Let me tell you, because the girl cuss like a sailor, and I'm triggered easily about certain things, right? Like, I'm working on my traumas. I'm working on healing. But some things do dig up under my skin. I be wanting to send people back to where they should have been in order to come back and talk to me properly, right? But God is yet working on me. So I don't want to get off subject, but I want to say, as a community, black, white, yellow, Asian, whoever, all races, just like Jesus loved all the children, red and yellow, black and white. That's what the Bible say, right? For everybody, in order for your needs to be met by others, so things that are outside of your control, you should part your lips. As long as you got sound, you can speak. God has granted you the capacity to formulate, communicate your needs. Even if you can't speak per se, and you can write your needs or you can sign your needs, these are things that you should do. Especially if you have an issue when the needs are not met or your wants are not met, and then you hold it against the person, you harbor in your heart, or you move differently, or you're counting, you putting on your little sketch pad that this is what a person didn't meet the requirement. They get an X instead of a check because you have this invisible list that they didn't know existed, and why they think they're doing their best as a human and still existing in their own world, that they think that they're showing up for you in the way that works with their life, right? But you over there side on them, holding on to something that they don't know exists. Makes no sense. That's all I'm gonna say. It makes no sense. So again, for today, it's about expectations and communicating. If there's a thing that you need or you want or you expect, part your lips. Like, is it really that hard? What could someone say other than, nah, I ain't on that? Or, okay, I can, or I could try. But also understand that we are individuals. We all have our own lives. We all have our own burdens. We all have our own successes, trials, and tribulations. We live in such a time, okay, what they say on today, that we need to do more giving grace than judging, because only God should judge, right? And giving grace because we all need it. I work in a field that I speak about giving grace often and making sure we're giving it fairly, right? And so I want to say that to whoever's listening, give out the grace that you want to receive in a time of need. Because we never know when the tables turn. We never know when karma gonna show up. And we don't get karma from what we did all the time, right? It could be something our children did, our mama did, our mama did, granddaddy, cousin, uncle, sister, brother did, like generations and ancestry back. Okay? I know that didn't probably make sense, but you know what? You follow me, okay? So just be mindful. You know what I'm saying? I can't stress that enough. I move a little different from some. I'm sure there's someone else in the world that's like me, if not several. I'm an Aquarius, so that says a lot. But I also move to my own beat. I couldn't wait to be grown because I did not want to move or conform to certain things. And obviously I can follow authority. I have a job, right? And I live within the confines of my own home. I'm not in jail, so that means I know how to follow rules. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Things got to make sense to me. And I'm not in the business of trying to figure out if we're playing chess or checkers, if we in the same book, if we on the same street, the same state. For anyone in anything with me, we got to talk. We got to communicate. Because I'm going to communicate. If I don't like a thing, or I like a thing, I need a thing, or I want a thing, that's what I'm going to do. And if I'm quiet, it's a reason, right? But take it light, y'all. Like, continue to tap in. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, please message me under this or under anything. I'll see the comments. I'll respond. I hope somebody can relate. I hope it helps someone. If it doesn't, okay, unfortunate. I hope it does help someone to understand someone that they may have not communicated with. I also hope that someone that has been in my situation or that can resonate with what I'm saying with understands that, baby, it's not just you, okay? It's other people too. But we in this world, and every day we wake up and have breath is a day to learn something new. So if you weren't sure because you're on the other side of person like me, you're the person that expects and has not communicated, I hope this gives you some insight on you can make things so much lighter if you just say a thing, right? Nobody's in your head but you and God, okay? And so that's one less thing to carry, you know? And again, it could be something big or small. But if you just say a thing, you don't know what you can get. You can get such greatness from just opening your mouth. And sometimes you can't, right? It just depends on what you're saying. But continue to tap in, guys. I hope you share this. Follow, like, send it to your friends, your cousins, your co-workers, whatever. Subscribe, turn my notification on. And again, keep rocking with me on this journey, and I'll be back. All right. Tam Unfiltered.